Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. This is Ashley Nicole, and good afternoon. Welcome back to another afternoon live. I hope you all are doing well. I hope y'all enjoyed the little intro. I was actually in my kitchen finishing, I was cooking something for my kiddos for when they get home from school or from camp. So yeah, I hope you all are doing well. As y'all can see, I hope y'all can hear me too because I'm on a different device, but I think you can. But again, good afternoon. I hope you all are doing well. Today is Tuesday. Yep. I hope y'all had a wonderful Juneteenth. It was definitely Freedom Day yesterday. I hope you all did something to celebrate or to, if you have kids in your life and things like that, to learn a little bit more about Juneteenth. But today, y'all, today we are talking about Aoki and Kimora Simmons and how they done called out Russell for just calling him out for, different things that he's done and how they feel about what's going on and, what's been happening, right? And y'all, this is, it's a lot of different perspectives, of course, for this particular story. This is just my opinion, my commentary on the situation, and also as a therapist, kind of reacting to, just giving my opinion about the situation from that perspective, too. So the first thing that I want to say is that of course, there have been different things that have gone on with this family for years. I mean, this is like a privileged family, right? This is because of Russell Simmons. He started all these things, right? All these businesses, and he was successful and all of this, right? So your kids, his kids kind of reap the benefit of all the things that he has done. But when I saw the video, Aoki Lee's Instagram live, right? And she was very upset. She was very, emotional about her interactions with her dad. And she was just kind of giving her story, right? Her perspective about what's going on, how she feels about it, this is her dad and things like that. So first I want to start off with this. I hope everything kind of like they figure everything out, because especially for a daughter and her dad, right? Because it's no relationship like a daughter and her dad. Like, it's a very special relationship, and most times um for kids, no matter how old you are, especially daughters, right? It don't matter what your dad done did. Your daddy For some people, your daddy could have cheated on the mama. He could have did wrong by this person, that person. He may not be a good person in somebody's eyes, but for you, that's your daddy. And you don't care what nobody said about him. And you're going to have his back. And it sounds like that's that's where Aoki was kind of coming from. Like, this is my dad. I'm a girl dad. I always been a girl dad. Like, I've always been for my dad, supporting him. Even when people said he did wrong, I was still there supporting him. And so now for him to treat me like this, it's like mind boggling to her. Right? It is like, even when you see in the text messages, because Aoki shared some text, she shared a lot of text messages between her and her dad, and the things that were said, and him kind of coming at her based on what he feels like the mom has done, and lawsuits and things like that. And she's like, you can kind of tell from the text messages that Aoki is like, Daddy, I ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, you my dad. Like, I'm trying to talk to you, trying to see how you doing. Like, I hope you would do the same for me. Just check on me and things like that or whatever. But okay, fine, do you, but I don't have anything to do with that. But Aoki also said that even in situations where her and her sister Ming, right, have tried to sit down, have lunch with dad, just have daddy-daughter time, right, that when he starts kind of talking about the mom, um and giving his opinion and perspective about that, it seems like he wants them to agree with him about how he feels about their mom. And they like, no, again, we don't have anything to do with that. You're our dad. That's our mom. We're not going to take sides. Like, y'all figure that out, which is very, of course, mature of them, right? Because they don't have anything to do with mom and dad's issues or challenges or what they're going through or what they didn't do or what they're trying to figure out, right? It's bad enough that their family's issues like are in the limelight, and that comes with their fame and things like that. But it's like, we are aside from that. We're the kids. We just trying to have daddy daughter time. But they said, Aoki was saying that if they didn't agree with him, then that's where the the verbal abuse would start. Him yelling at them, him calling the mom names, cursing at them and things like that, right? So I can't even imagine. I could tell why, coming from a therapist's perspective, I can tell how Aoki would, how she came to the point where she was upset, right? Because it's like, if I grew up this way, only knowing that my dad was and also from the perspective of others, right? Because it may be some people who think, oh, that he's not a good person based on all of the things, that have come out about him and things like that. But there's also another group of people who still feel like, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am. Or, when I met him, he was a good person. He treated me well. Like, I've never had that experience, right? And so all this time for people to kind of give you that perspective about your dad, that, oh yeah, your dad, I was able to do this because of him or whatever, right? It's like, that's all you know about your dad, right? And also your experience that, oh, I got a good dad. And so for him to flip almost, and you hear yelling, cussing, calling your mom out her name, all kinds of stuff, you would be confused, right? You would be confused. You would probably be traumatized, right? Because it's almost like, I don't even know this person. Like, this is not the person that I grew up with. This is not who other people tell me that they've experienced. Like, where is this even coming from? And when you think about it, based on what she was saying, it's kind of based on some kind of lawsuit or whatever, him feeling like Kimora took his money, all kind of stuff, child. It's like, this is, you treated me this way based on a money situation. It's like, I'm your kid, right? So it also goes to show you that celebrities, of course, they go through the same stuff regular folk go through. They got these same challenges, right? They have, anxiety as well. They have panic as well. Aoki talked about having to go to therapy based on the interactions that she had with her dad. She said that she had got to the point where when she would talk to him on the phone or knowing that they would have a conversation, she would go into having a panic attack. And that's severe because, see, it's a difference between having generalized anxiety, just kind of being anxious, and going into full blown panic attack or panic mode, right? Like, generalized anxiety is something that kind of happens over time, right? But having a panic attack, you literally feel like you about to pass out, or that you are about to die. You feel like you might be having a heart attack. That's a very severe level of anxiety. So for you to feel like you having a panic attack every time you talk to your dad, that's not good. And she said that this has been going on for years. Now, of course, in the comments, people were coming for her, right? Saying like, saying whatever about her dad, kind of going against what she said. And she was like, I've been in a situation. Like, the only way that she feels like he's going to get help, she was saying, is because it appears that this is what she's saying, that The only way that he's going to get help is if if somebody exposes him for being the person that he truly is, right? Or how he's acting, because his whole persona or how he wants to present himself is, I'm a great dad, I'm a great person, I haven't done anything wrong, right? But now it's like, now you have evidence that this person is a different way, right? But it's hard because it's Aoki Lee. How old is she? Like 20, right? Versus Russell Simmons, who's 70. Is he like I think he like 70. This man 70 years old. I think he like 70. Let me not lie, child. Let me go on and see. Russell. Lord have mercy. He done did these kids like this. Um No, he ain't 70. Let me stop lying. He's 65. 65. Right, 65 years old, right? He had history with a whole bunch of people. So it's like, okay, who you gonna believe? The dad or the 20-year-old daughter, right? Who some people might feel like you in she generation, I don't know what. And because she kept talking about money and finances, and she said that her dad, he stopped helping her. Basically, Russell didn't cut the kids off, child. Kimora was on the video on the Instagram live, and she said Russell cut them off, but she said Kimora said he was only sending them about maybe 200, maybe five. First she said two, then she went to five, and then she said maybe a little more than that. But one day he just cut him off cold turkey. Didn't tell him, didn't say, oh, dad ain't sending you no more money. You better figure it out on your own, or you better ask your mom. He didn't do none of that. He just said, credit card is cut off. Aoki said she went to, she was in Greece for some kind of school trip or something like that. And she said she was over there, baby. I guess she was trying to buy lunch or something like that, or maybe shop or whatever. Girl, she tried to use that credit card and it said declined. And can you imagine? Being the daughter? Because everybody around her noticed, right? Being the daughter of Russell Simmons, being the daughter of Kimora Lee Simmons, and you're in Greece, right? You go to Harvard, you go to an Ivy League school, right? And you get to the store and the people tell you that your card declined. And probably maybe she tried it again. Because sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens based on the credit card company that you have or whatever. They if you out the country, they want to make sure that this is not fraud or whatever. So she probably tried it again. Because sometimes these companies, American Express, Discover, and all this stuff, right? They have systems in place so that there won't be any fraud. And so she probably tried the card again and everything. And they said, no. And she found out that he, I don't know, closed the card or whatever. Child, can you imagine? I mean, this child was probably devastated. Because how is it that I don't have any money and I'm in Greece and like these are my parents? Because you got to remember too, even though her and her siblings, at some point they may not want to, um, they want to be quote unquote normal, right? But they're not. They're very privileged. And so if you are in Greece and your card get declined and you are the daughter of those two people, you're devastated. This don't happen. Right? This, like, why is this happening? Right? So then she probably in panic mode then, right? So it sounds like it was a lot for her. She even mentioned that she had to go to therapy or was trying to go to therapy, and her dad told her that he couldn't pay $100 a month for therapy, and maybe that was just towards her therapy. Because I would imagine that the cost was more than that, but he was saying that he couldn't give her the money for that, even though she feels like most of the time he is the cause of that, of her having to go. Um, So it sounds like she's built up a lot of anxiety around even speaking to her dad. She said that if she tries to block him or says, Dad, I just need some space, I don't want to talk right now, he'll start calling her friends. He'll call her boyfriend. He'll call anybody trying to see, like, well, I guess, I don't know what he's trying to see, where she is or why she won't talk to him. She was like, he basically harassing my friends if I tell him I need some space. But she like, I just don't want to feel this way when I talk to my dad. And that's sad for any daughter. Because again, the relationship with daughter and dad is very special. And, you know, if you have this perception about your dad and then something changes, that will kind of, it'll bother you a little bit. And then also if when you think about this whole thing, what I thought about was how this is going to affect Aoki in the future, right? With relationships, right? Because it's like, okay, can I really trust somebody, right? Is this the person that they really are when I meet them? Even if you've known them for years, then it becomes okay, you're not really showing your true person. Like all of this could affect that. It may not, but it could, right? Because of course anything is possible, the and there's some probability there because of the way that she has kind of seen her dad flip, right? um Let's see. She also mentioned that her dad, like they feel like her dad is having some kind of breakdown, or he has maybe dementia or something like that. Because they trying to figure out like why. They don't know why this is happening, but it sounds like it's been happening for a while. Apparently, Russell Simmons is in Bali. I don't know if he lives in Bali or whatever, but sounds like they haven't seen him. He hasn't been back to the States or anything like that. But this is also another thing on the flip side, because I feel like this is unfortunate for a daughter and a father, right? Um, because of that relationship that daughters have with their dad. But also on the flip side, especially when she was talking about the financial situation, right? She was like, I'm living with my friend in New York, and I probably won't be able to model again. I probably won't be able to get a modeling job or work in entertainment because of my dad. And things like that, based on her kind of talking about this, and who her dad is. And that might be true. That might be true. And they might not give her the reason of why she might not get hired or whatever. It could be that they don't want the drama or anything like that, but that could be the reason. So, there's some valid emotion there that I may not be able to work again and what I truly want to do, because I'm talking about my dad and not in a not so positive light. But then also I thought this, I'm like, Aoki, you didn't she just graduate from Harvard? That's what I was thinking. Hey, okay, what are you talking about? Getting a job, girl. This is somebody who don't really realize who they are, right? Aoki is gonna have to build her confidence up. She's gonna have to build her confidence up because, girl, you are Aoki Lee Simmons. You can get a job anywhere. You can get a job on social media. She could be an influencer. The girl got I don't know how many followers. So why is that something that you kind of worried about? Now I get that modeling, being in the entertainment industry is probably something that she really wants to do, like maybe it's her passion, things like that, right? But when you talk about supporting yourself, because your dad doesn't support you anymore, and now she a grown woman, she 20 years old, right? Um, Girl, it's gonna be easy for you to support yourself. You are a Harvard grad. You didn't graduated from Harvard. That alone, you gonna get you a job, right? Even before that, you could get a job. You don't even have to get a job, Aoki. You can start your own stuff. Whatever you want to do, girl. You could write a book, on how to make it as a kid in the entertainment industry, whatever. I don't know what the title would be, child. Somebody will help you with that, right? You can write a book. You could start your start any kind of business you want. You could be an influencer if you want to. It's a whole bunch of stuff that you could do to support yourself, right? So this is where kind of like that privilege part comes in, because it's like, okay, these kids have been so privileged to where this is what they expect, right? That even though I'm 20 years old, I've been to college, my whole college been, paid for, I didn't graduate, that, and maybe she doesn't expect this, I don't know, this is just my opinion, right, child, because I ain't famous. So, that the expectation is that you can always count on your dad or mom to take care of you. Like that wouldn't be a worry for you, right? Like you've never really had to figure it out because they had it all figured out for you, which is commendable, because a lot of people don't have a chance to be able to do that for their kids, right? To say, you know what, you don't have to work when you go to college, you don't have to figure out how to how you're gonna get transportation back and forth to school, or whatever. Like they set up that way. So now the expectation when you 20, 21, shoot, even 25 is that I don't really have to figure it out. I don't really have to figure my life out. Like it's basically already been figured out, right? So now for dad to cut you off, to say like he not dad said he ain't paying for no therapy, he ain't doing none of that. It's like devastation. Like what you mean? Like this what you're supposed to be doing. Which is partly, for a college kid, young kid or whatever, it's like, your parents should be able to step in and help you throughout this time, right? But if they can't do it for the kids whose parents are not famous, they got to figure it out. And so it sounds like, I don't know if dad don't got it. And shoot, I don't know. Maybe he don't. I mean, Russell started all that stuff way back when. Who knows what his finances look like now? I mean, could because anything is possible. Anything is possible. So, is it possible that Russell is broke? Is it possible that he cannot put 100 on this girl therapy sessions every month? I mean, it could be possible that he is broke. Because when you make a lot of money, for most people, you spend a lot of money, right? Think about it. Like, okay, if you start off not making enough, okay, boom, boom, I only can do this, and that. But when you start making a lot of money, right, then you're gonna add expenses. Then you're gonna get you a new car. This is just human nature, right? So all these years, is it possible now that he in Bali, don't nobody know where he is? The Kimora say he hiding, child. Kimora say, she said, I don't know, maybe he in hiding, I don't know. But is it possible that Russell could be broke? And now the probability of that is probably slim, but it's possible. So now it's like you used to your family having all this money and things like this or whatever, which really it doesn't really matter at this point because the doors have already been open to opportunity, to be advanced without you having to do, without you doing, what you doing very little. You can do whatever you want to do, right? Because your family has been in the limelight for years. So based on your name alone, Aoki, girl, you can do whatever you want to do, right? But see, that is her dad. So it's not easy for her to say, you know what, something going on with him. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't want to talk to him no more. It just affects me too much. I don't want to do it. She's not that type of person. It's some kids who could say, my dad, like he was excellent growing up, but now it's like I haven't talked to him in a long time. I don't know what he's doing. But it sounds like she tries to keep the door open because that's her dad and that's how she feel about her dad. You can't fault her for that, right? You can't fault her for that. She's not that kind of person to just say, oh, forget it. Like he never gonna get it together. Every time I talk to him, he talking about my mom. Like I just can't. I'm not gonna deal with it no more. Now maybe Ming like that. Who knows? Maybe Ming like, cause she even said Aoki said that he sent somebody to Ming house late at night, trying to figure out where she was. I'm like, what? Like it must be something going on with him. We'll probably never know. Cause again, he they say quote unquote he in hiding. But she, was saying like, he doesn't help me, it's fine, whatever. My mom supports me. Like at this point, Aoki, you can support yourself, right? And of course, mom is always going to be there just in case, like you need a little bit of help, you need guidance and things like that. But at some point, you're gonna have to figure it out on your own, right? Dad is not that support that you thought that he would be. He's not in that role anymore as far as, and it sounds like for the last maybe few years or however many years, it's only really been financial a little bit, because if you are Harvard, you go to Harvard and you Aoki Lee, you gotta, basically you gotta dress to the nines. I mean, you can't be going nowhere, you got to wear Chanel and all of this stuff. And so for him to be just sending you, what the mom said, first it was 200, then it was 500, then it might have been a little bit more than that. What Aoki gonna do with that? 200, that's like $5. Not even. What she gonna buy with that? That's her groceries probably for 2 days. Right? So it's like he wasn't really helping you no way if he was sending that. So it's like, man, if my daddy send it, then it's almost like she like one of these kids out here who, the dad is not really in their life. And it's like, oh, if he help, cool. Like that's like that's extra. It's sad. Like if he help, that's extra. But if he don't, like it's what I expected anyway. So if it come and come, if it don't, like I'm not depending on it, right? But it's like, girl, if he was only sending you $200, that's nothing for you. So then, or it's like, okay, I'm in school now, go to Harvard, I'm getting ready to graduate. Okay, let me look at what career I'm getting ready to go into, what job I'm getting ready to do. Now it sounds like she was modeling, like she's been modeling. I mean, the Aoki, both of them are beautiful. It sounds like she's been modeling. She said, I save my money and stuff like that. So I mean, it sounds like she's on the right track. But Russell is done. And I don't know if he's done because of what their mom has done. And this is classic, right? This is how they say the moms do when they mad at the dad. Right? Like if they don't like the dad, they're mad at dad. Then they treat the kids a certain way because they're projecting their feelings about the dad on the kids. Sounds like this is what he's doing. Because your mom did this, I'm gonna treat you this way. And that's not right. They don't have anything to do with that. You need to figure that out with Kimora and what y'all gonna do or whatever. It's sad that you can't separate that from your kids, because even though she's 20, I don't know how old Ming is. I think Ming was the oldest one. They still need you as their dad, you know. So it's a sad situation, especially for her to feel like, okay, this is like my last resort. I would think to come to social media and tell the world about what your dad has been doing, like I would think that took a lot for her to do, you know, to really expose her dad. Like, this how he talked to me. She put up like a some kind of video or a FaceTime of him talking to her, but you couldn't hear what he was saying, but you could tell he was irate. Like he was getting ready to jump through the phone. He was irate. And you can't really tell like what he was saying or anything, but she was like, this is what it is every time I talk to him. That's abusive, right? And I don't know if he's saying things to her or just saying things about the mom, but it's almost like emotional abuse is, being put down, being made to feel small. And these things stick with you, right? The more you hear things, right, negative things about yourself, then you're going to start to believe them. right? And so this is not good for a 20-year-old mind, especially right now because she's vulnerable. She just graduated from Harvard. I can't imagine what her experience was like, right? Um, Trying to figure out her way in the world, what she's going to do next. You know, the world is her oyster. She can do whatever she wants to do, and things like that. And it's like, but I don't even have support from my parent, right? Because Kimora was saying that he was, Russell was telling him, like, y'all just wasted all this money going to school. Like, why do you even go to school? It's like, dang, Russell, if the kids want to go to school, I mean, you see, this is why I think, okay, is it a possibility that he's broke? Because it's like, okay, dang, if they want to go to school, that means I'm gonna have to help pay for it, right? But maybe he don't have to have the money. But instead of him saying that, he like, well, why y'all going to school anyway? Like he that kind of dad. Like, dang. I mean, if the girl wants to be a lawyer, a doctor, and then Aoki was like, well, it's okay. And she seemed so sweet. She was like, well, I guess it's okay because she was like, if I can't work in the entertainment industry, if I can't model anymore, it's okay because I guess I'll just be like a doctor or something. Girl, what you mean? She said that like a doctor is like a regular job. I'm like, Aoki. She was like, oh, I guess I'll just be a doctor or something, or a lawyer. I love the law. Hi, Pastel. How you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, she like, oh, I guess I'll just, I do love the law, so I guess I'll just be a lawyer. Girl, that is something. Like you act like you going to work at Publix. like, I guess I'm gonna have to go work at Publix because my dad won't help me. Girl, what is you saying? You are a Harvard grad. Like this is why I think her confidence is low at this point because it's like you don't really even realize you don't even know who you are, right? Even aside, take away your degree from Harvard, uh, you know, all of that. You have what team to say? The name. She got the name. She's a Simmons, right? Everybody knows who her parents are. So that alone is going to get her in the door. You know how many people would work with her just because of that? And a lot of celebrity kids, they don't want the sales attached to that. Like they want to make their own way and things like that. But girl, if you saying that your parents is like, oh my gosh, like almost like I don't know how I'm gonna make it, girl. That's how you get ready to make it. What you mean? That's your dad. That's all she got to say. Do you know how many people like would even thinking about even having that opportunity. They don't even have that opportunity to just say, well, yeah, Russell Simmons is my dad. Kimora, is my mom. She was a model. This is this or whatever, right? If you say that, you in the door already, right? So for you to feel like this is like, too much, like I'm not going to be able to kind of get by. And I don't think that that's what her perspective is, because then she turned around, she said, well, my mom, she supports me, right? So she'll lean on her mom and things like that, she'll be fine. But it's like for you to even have the notion that that might occur, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I can't model anymore. So what? You could do a whole bunch of other stuff that you like to do, and simply based on her going to Harvard and being a Harvard grad, um, she's a scholar. So modeling, okay, that's one thing, but girl, you are a scholar, right? So I can't even imagine the interest that she has, the things that she's good at, right? The people that she hangs out with, her network. Girl, Aoki, you got it made, child. Girl, you got it made. You hear me? Like this is let your dad figure out whatever he gonna do. Like you said, you don't have nothing to do with that. That's between him and your mom, and you go on and figure out what you gonna do with your life. And if your dad come around, he come around. Like it at some point, it's kind of like how much longer are you going to put yourself in a position to allow other people to hurt you? Right? Because clearly it hurts you that your dad is treating you a certain way, right? But how long are you going to allow, I don't care who it is, dad, mom, auntie, cousin, sister, friend, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, how much longer are you going to sit there and allow them to do it? Right? Because at that point, it's on you. And so then you ask yourself, why would I let somebody treat me this way? Like, why would I just take it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it goes kind of deeper than that. So yeah, so I just wanted to come and give my little 2 cents about that. And because I saw it and thought it was just ridiculous. Especially because she's experiencing symptoms of anxiety, really. And she probably has, a little bit of, again, general anxiety is something that kind of happens over time. But when you talk about panic attacks, this is a severe level of anxiety where you feeling like you need medication. You might need medication to take the edge off. You might feel like you having a heart attack. You telling people to call 911 because you feel like you're getting ready to die. Like, that's what panic attacks feel like. Um, so, I wouldn't be surprised if she's on medication or anything like that, right? And so that's when it gets to a point like, come on, like, this is sad, right? Her dad is really not realizing what's occurring here. But again, like they said, they don't know what's going on. If he has dementia, if he is going through some type of mental breakdown. And we've heard time and time again, when people in general, when you have financial struggles, it is a big stress. I mean, not too long ago, we saw some CFOs and things like that take their own life because of financial issues, right? So who knows what this man is going through? And is he in Bali because he wants to be there? Or is he in Bali because he's truly in hiding from something, right? Because it's one thing if you over there and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is where I've always wanted to live and things like that. But when you get to a point where you feel like you can't go nowhere else, like you can't show your face, that's a problem. That's a problem. Like, you ain't seen your kids in how many years? In the flesh? Mm-mm. No, something ain't right. So let me know what y'all think. Thank y'all so much for listening. If you are on the replay, make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you subscribe if you haven't hit that subscribe button thus far. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.